What's your name?
John Curley. I'm outreach worker for AIDS Thunder Bay. So, I don't know if you want to know what I do. I'm a hepatitis C outreach worker. We've come to learn that hepatitis C is probably the biggest disease being transmitted right now in Thunder Bay. At present, there's somewhere in the area of 3,000 identified cases of Hep C in Thunder Bay, generally with the homeless population and intravenous drug users. So our target is to try and educate and prevention for Hep C. So that's what I do is I go out and I meet people and try to build credibility in the community and to educate people on the dangers of Hep C and actually provide the equipment so they can use safely. So that's kind of what I do.
So it's big in the homeless population.
Well, it's to do with intravenous drug use. It's not necessarily homeless population. So I don't want to go out there and say that everybody who's homeless is injecting drugs, but it's big with intravenous drug use. But because a lot of the spread and contamination has to do with healthy living, what have you, you find a lot of people that are homeless don't have the ability to get clean equipment and to have the resources. I mean, there's people in big presidents of corporations or intravenous drug users, but they can afford to get the equipment and to do it and keep themselves safe, whereas marginalized population don't, right? So, that's why we target that group. I mean, we're Thunder Bay's number 2 in Ontario, only to Kingston. That's only because of the high incarcerated population in Kingston. If you take that out of the mix, then Thunder Bay is number 1 in Ontario, and Ontario is number 1 in Canada for Hep C. So it's big, it's huge. So and a lot of people don't get, they don't understand about Hep C, how to contact Hep C. It's not as easy to catch as people think. You really got to be careless with any type of behavior they're involved in because it's a blood-to-blood disease that's transmitted, but it's easier to catch than HIV, which a lot of people is a big scare. So that's why now we got the big scare, like what it was with HIV. Is now people are terrified of Hep C, and my job is to try to take away that fear and just to help people get educated.
How does it spread?
Hep C spread blood to blood,
Okay.
Strictly blood to blood. So I mean that's why it's big within the intravenous drug use because of sharing needles. It's not if you're an intravenous drug user. If you're an intravenous drug user who's sharing needles with someone who could be contaminated. So that's the big one. Smoking crack because you get the cut in your lips when the pipe gets hot, and rough sex, as well as sharing. And a lot of people don't understand this is sharing. Oh, geez, what's the word I'm looking for? I know what it's called, but razors, toothbrush, nail clippers. Those type of things that hygiene, for people to take care of hygiene, if you share those things, and jailhouse tats is a lot because they don't have the proper equipment, right? When you're getting tattoos, so that's the main ones where Hep C spread. Contrary to popular belief, you can't get Hep C from someone by sharing a cup, which a lot of people.
Obviously, prostitution would be a problem.
Well, only because if they're not protecting themselves. And we spend a lot of time out, especially with the young prostitutes, educating about that and providing condoms. Like I said, the other thing I do is I provide condoms and education around that. Yeah, you definitely have to protect yourself because it is blood to blood, and that's why it's more the rough sex. But yeah, prostitution is they're at risk, high risk.